listening to Guitar Talk with Will Musig.
I can hear the train coming down the track. If I catch that train, yeah, I won't be coming back. If I catch that train, no, I won't be back at all. I was born under a bad sign a long time ago, and the wind's been howling ever since I've known. Yeah, the wind's been howling ever since I know. Here we go, Will. Ever been back and throwing flowers on my grave. Knives in my back, they're driving me insane. Gonna catch that train, gonna catch that train today. Roll on that train. Roll on that train. I think we're on air, Will.
I think we are too.
I think we are.
Hi everybody, it's Will Musig with Guitar Talk, and tonight we have Joey Amenta playing guitar, but our guest, Joey's actually come back on because he wanted to come back on from
I want to come back on with Mickey Boy.
And also, ladies and gentlemen, we have Mick DeLuca from Dome Guitars. Mick actually builds guitars, and he's brought some guitars in, and I tell you what, talk about one. I reckon I'm going to have to take out a mortgage because these guitars are absolutely big.
Look at this one, Will. This one's called the Phoenix Rising.
That's a Phoenix. That's yours.
I'm the proud owner of this beautiful Phoenix guitar.
Yeah.
That Mick made.
Yep. That's a beautiful guitar.
It is.
So, Mick, welcome to Guitar Talk.
Thank you, Will.
Welcome. And I know that you were saying, oh, man, I'm a bit nervous.
Nah, nothing.
Relax. Don't do it. If you
want to do it, relax.
Look,
don't do it.
We're basically, tonight, we're here to talk to you about the way you make your guitars, the passion, the love. And from what I see with what you brought in, I mean, we've got that. Look at the beautiful guitars.
Look at this thing here, will you? Have a look at this thing.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's absolutely beautiful.
One of the early ones, that one.
Yeah. I mean, if you see the finish, the whole kit and caboodle, it's just even the way they play, they're beautiful guitars. So Mick, how do you? What made you start building guitars?
Building guitars. Well, to be quite honest, it's because my oldest daughter at the time, this is about 11 years ago, bought me a book on how to make an electric guitar for my birthday.
Yep.
And that's really what kicked off
because of that,
curiosity.
Because of that book, Will, you got look at what he's freaking mate. Look at this.
Because making guitars like hollow bodies like that is not an easy feat. Definitely not.
It's got a few challenges, but there's a lot of satisfaction in it too.
Yeah. So we were talking before, and you were saying that a guitar like that would take you about 200 hours to make.
The arch top,
the arch top,
roughly about 200 hours. Yeah.
Okay.
This little baby here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. And now with that, there's a lot of guitar makers out there in this world of ours that what they'll do is they'll go and buy bodies and they'll buy necks and they'll buy all the hardware and put it all together and they say, I built this guitar. You don't do that, do you?
No, I don't.
No.
Everything's scratch built.
You start it from scratch. So it's a piece of timber, and then from the piece of timber you then build the guitar from there. So
basically, that one there, if you're looking at the archtop, you build a template and a series of molds so that you can help bend the sides and place them in the mold and take shape.
Yep.
And then you carve the rest of the bits of the wood that go together.
Yep.
Make the neck and the tops and things like that.
So it's a bit like, I know this is one of your ukulele jigs, but so can you guys see that? But so you make it something like this then? Yeah. I mean, for that guitar there, this mold here would be the size of that guitar. The size of the guitar.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And then you'd basically build the inside of it. Yeah. So you build all the inside layer by layer.
Well, basically, can I just show
you?
Take this out because this is actually a set of sides that I've bent for a ukulele for a customer. See, that's the mold, right?
Yep.
Now, essentially what we have is these molds so that we can, once we bend the sides, these are two sides, once they're bent, we can place them into the mold, clamp them there, and when they dry, they retain that shape.
They retain the shape.
And then you add on the bits that you need to do and build the inside and then the tops.
Makes it look so simple.
Well, it is. It's like anything else, Joe. Once you know how to do it, it does become simple. I mean, it's still got challenges.
Yeah.
But everything else is, you play bass or guitar or, you still got some challenges, but you make it look really easy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way it is.
Yeah. And like, what about the timber?
Okay. Well, look, that guitar, if we're talking about that guitar, the top of it is spruce.
Yep.
Okay. The sides are curly maple.
Yep.
Curly maple.
The back is curly maple.
Yep.
Curly maple.
Okay.
I'll just show the back again. Look at this beautiful piece of
it's
what are they? What violin? What do they call it?
Curly maple or flame maple.
Yeah, they call it flame.
They use for violin.
They call it different. Yeah. That's the sort of finish you have on the back of violins and stuff.
Yeah. Well, this the archtop is predominantly from that violin family, so to speak.
Wow.
Not strictly speaking, but it's in that same sort of type.
What if Mick makes all of this stuff? It's just amazing.
So the tailpiece on that, you actually made that as well?
Yeah, that's ebony. Yeah.
You made that out of ebony.
That there.
And this pickguard, that's actually ebony as well.
Wow.
So it's all ebony, even the knob for the volume.
That's ebony. You turn that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The only thing that's plastic on this guitar are the bindings. They're made from ABS.
Yep.
They're glued in, but everything else is either metal or wood.
Nice to play today. And can I just interrupt for a sec? And Rory...
Okay, I'll tell you what, I'll let you interrupt.
Well, look at this, Will. Rory says it's the Joey Show.
Yeah.
Now, Rory, that's going to upset Will. That's going to upset Will.
It's not going to upset me.
But look what Stanley says.
Stanley says Michael is a guitar. Oh, yeah, definitely a guitar guy.
Stan, I call Michael my guitar guru.
I can see you, Stan.
So that's basically on the hollow body range of your guitars.
Well, the archtop, it's
and he's made it like ES335.
And how many of those do you think you've made?
Well, out of the archtops, I've made two archtops. Because they're basically the high-end guitar.
Yeah.
And that's the one that takes a lot.
But the semi-acoustic ones, are they archtop? The black ones you've made? You made about 3 of those.
Yeah. You made about 5 of those. They're amazing.
Out of the that ES335 style, about 8 of those so far.
Wow, for customers. Mick's made them for customers.
So the tops on those you
it depends. Some people want mahogany, some people want maple.
And do you like when you're making it, are you carving them with chisels or are you carving them with routering or depends on the job?
With this particular style of guitar, everything is hand carved by little planes and chisels.
Yep.
He's got these tiny little 1-inch planes.
Little planes, yeah. I'll show you my one at the workshop. Yeah.
So it's basically a process of getting a piece of wood. I mean, this one in particular are 2 pieces of wood glued together, and they're about 1.5 inches thick, or roughly 40 mil thick in the centre.
Yep.
And then you have a series of templates that provide the curves so that you can carve towards those curves.
And what you mean by templates, Mick, they're those like ruler things I've seen you use.
Yeah.
And they've got the curve.
Yeah, that's
and you
right.
go to that just
Exactly,
amazing.
Yeah.
I am, just in awe of how you do that stuff. I only play them, but, you make them.
No, we play them right, yeah.
And like, look, I mean, I played when you walked in. I played every guitar that you pulled out of the case. I played it.
You did.
Right? And what was the word I said, Joey, about these guitars?
Wow.
Well, aside from
the
wow, I said I would put them into the same category as
Sir
guitars, and I've seen quite a few Sir guitars.
SUHR.
And I'll definitely put these guitars into the same category. So, because they just play like a dream to actually play, So
you want to expect that, not just from me, but anybody that you would get a guitar built from, whether it's me or somebody else.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the sort of what you want. You want the playability to be really spot on.
Yeah, but we're trying to promote you here at the moment. Nah, so how long have you been doing it?
Well, about 11 years now.
11 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Started on my 50th, which is 11 years ago now.
Yeah. Wow. And like I was reading on your website that you've when you were 9 years old, how you used to learn things off your dad.
Yeah. Basically, I mean, my father, like most Italians of that era, they come from a poor peasant background. So when they went to fix things, they used a bent nail and a bit of wire and a hammer, and they could fix anything.
Yeah.
It was never fixed properly, but it was fixed. So that sort of rubbed off on me a little bit back then, where you sort of become familiar with using tools and things like that. So I grew up with that sort of mentality.
Yeah. Because I relate to that, because I remember when I was a kid, my dad used to take me to work with him, and he would put these pieces of timber down, and he would start the nails on the top of this timber, and he'd put like 20 or 30 nails in. Being a little kid, he would say to me, okay, hammer in all of the nails. And I'd spend an hour trying to hammer in all these nails, because it was hardwood back in those days when they were building frames. So, but that's incredible.
Well, can I just say, I just want to thank Pino for this drum seat. Pino is much more comfortable than the seat I had last week. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome, Dave.
My behind says thank you.
You're very welcome, Dave. The best for you, Joe.
We have to make a special mention for Pino, because Pino's working so hard over there, and we've got a new screen here as well. So he's writing things like,
and Rory said
that you're a true craftsman. But I can't read that next line, Pino.
Rory says you're a true craftsman.
So, no, that's great. Hey, now, I saw on your website that there's a photo with Joe Satriani and Steve Vai with you and your guitar.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
What happened? What happened there?
Basically, all it was I had some, they were birthday gift tickets to go and see Stevie Vai and Joe Satriani play here in Melbourne. It was probably about 4 years ago or 5 years ago. And my wife Louisa got some, I think they were called either gold tickets or something like that, which meant that you're entitled to go and speak to them personally and have a pre-show meeting with them.
Yep.
And so my wife said, bring a couple of your guitars along just to show them. And I said, not these people, she goes, bring them along and maybe they'll get you an autograph. You'll get an autograph. I said, okay, all right. So we ended up going to the show and having a pre-meeting with them. And it was my turn to get up and, they greeted me and shook their hands and all that sort of stuff. And they picked up the guitar. So I said, you want me to sign? I said, yeah, please. And Louisa goes, my husband makes these.
And they couldn't believe it.
And they go, right, yeah. Oh, and they were gentlemen.
Did they have that accent? Did they? All right.
Oh, yeah.
Well, not quite.
And you know what? And Will, Mick's very modest, right? He won't tell you, but I'll tell you that Steve Vai grabbed one of his guitars and he turned around and he said, hey, Joe, Trey this, man.
Oh, yeah.
And Joe played it, and they just fell in love with it. But we got to go to a commercial, Will. But I also want to say,
it's great having that screen there,
I know.
isn't it?
You know, I also want to say,
hi, Eddie.
Oh, hello, Eddie.
Eddie Mafty.
All the it's funny how all the great guitar players have got Joe in their name. I don't know. It's funny, you know.
That's true.
We're going to a commercial.
Slater Car Accident Repair specialises in all aspects of car and bodywork. With many years of experience, you can rest assured your vehicle is in safe hands. Sam and his team offers a warm, friendly and professional service and are committed to every project. We service both commercial and domestic vehicles and offer body repairs, paint spraying, insurance work, private work and much, much more. Slater Car Accident Repairs, 64 Slater Parade, Kilo East. Call us on 9336 0993 or call Sam on 0400 36 36 86.
So back on the topic of the guys like Joe Satriani and Steve I that were looking at your guitar and stuff. We were talking before, and you were saying that you've got a couple of guitars that have moved into the US and New Zealand and stuff.
Well, yeah, what it was is this: there was a retailer of boutique guitars in the USA.
Was that Mad Guitars?
No, it was Destroy All Guitars.
Destroy All Guitars.
Which doesn't really kind of make sense, does it?
It's catchy, isn't it? It's a catchy name.
I
Destroy All Guitars.
I suppose you have a look at these destroyed guitars, but they're really craftsman guitars.
Love all guitars, really.
Yeah,
it's Destroy All Guitars.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. I actually asked the owner of that.
And what did he say?
Why he named it? He goes, "Did it catch your attention?" I said, "Yes, it did."
That's why.
That's why I called it Destroy All Guitars.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Hey Joe, I've got an idea for you for the band.
What?
Next gig you do, say Joey does no underpants.
Joey does.
Oh, actually, no, you can't do that. No, you can't do
Joey does no underpants.
No, that's all right.
And look at that, Will. This is what.
Okay. All right. Hold on. We've got some messages here. We've got Gabriella. I think that might be someone I know.
Ciao, Gabriella.
And Michael, what happened to your venture in the States?
And the Mercedes Benz. Who did that one, Pete? Who wrote that one?
Stanley.
Yes. This is Stanley. We were eating pizza before, and I said to Mick, tell him about the guy. No, we were in here before, and I said, tell him about the guy that makes these inlays here. These inlays, these beautiful inlays, Will. The guy that Michael in the States gets his material for. Can I tell the story, Mick? Yeah, and you can interrupt.
You've got to be telling the story.
Yeah, because
welcome to the Joey Show, guys.
No, because Mick won't tell it with,
He tells it a lot better than what I do.
So Mick, the guy that...
Hey, I'm only just an instrument.
The guy that supplies Mick with this material here, this abalone and stuff, to make these, is an American guy. And when Michael was in America, he thought he'd catch up with him. I'll do it really quickly. And so he rang him, and the guy said, yeah, look, this is my address. Did
he say it with that accent?
He said it with that accent. He said, this is my address. So Mick rolled up, right, in the street in his hire car, and he thought, and he was smoking. He's not smoking anymore. He's smoking roll. So he thought, I'll wait for this guy. I'll have a rollie. And after about, 15 minutes or whatever, this Mercedes really low to the ground, this really like grumbling Mercedes comes around the corner, and the guy gets out. Right.
It was a deserted street.
It was a deserted street.
All these roller doors.
Roller doors everywhere. Mick's like, man, is this cool or what? What's going on here? Anyway, the Mercedes comes around the corner, Pete, and this guy gets it covered in tats, shorts on. The guy gets out and goes like this, stretches, and in his tummy there, he's got his gun. And by this stage, Michael, can I say S-H-I-T? No. By this stage, Michael is shitting himself, and then he comes out. He goes, "Hey, Michael," and then he explains to Michael how in the States they have to show, they can't conceal it. They have to show a gun, have to show it before they use it. and then he grabbed it and shot Michael. That part's not true. That part's not true. That part's not true, but all the rest of that is true.
Very true. That's what happened. Yeah.
That's an interesting story.
Actually, one thing I need to do. I've just had a brainstorm. Sorry. One thing everybody who's listening needs to do right now. You're listening to the Drum Talk Radio Facebook page. Sometime during the show, you need to click over to the Muso channel and like and follow that. When you do that, because very soon we're going to be doing the show, the Guitar Talk show, as well as the Drum Talk show on the Muso channel. So we want everybody to sort of jump over to the Muso channel. Yeah. So,
hey, Will, can we say hi to Jimmy
Zimbassis?
Hi, Jimmy.
Hey, Jimmy. How you doing, mate?
Azimi, you good boy.
Jim's great. Yeah. I love Jim. Now back onto the guitars that you make and stuff. So that's the USA.
Yeah, well, basically, what had actually happened was that this person, his first name was Cliff. He'd contact boutique makers around the world.
Yep.
And if he liked what he saw, then he'd contact you. He rang me, and he said if I was interested in putting some guitars up on his website.
Yep.
And he just purely deals in boutique guitars and boutique handmade amplifiers and things like that. And cut a long story short, I agreed after a while, and so I sent him a lot of information and photos of my guitars. He put them up, and we did a price range on there and all that sort of stuff. That lasted for a couple of years, but it got to a stage where he said, well, look, I've been getting some inquiries, but we need to have some physical guitars here in the States.
Yeah.
So that's when I started trying to research how to get these guitars over there.
Yeah.
Not an easy thing to do.
Not an easy thing if you're not dedicated to just doing export to USA with their regulations from their Wildlife and Fisheries Department. It's a very difficult and complex process. There are people in Australia that do it, but I wasn't cut out for it back then. Yeah. So I just said to him, look, I can't.
They make you jump through hoops.
Yeah, basically. So we just ended up dissolving that, and that's it. Yeah. As far as New Zealand's concerned, I mean, people from New Zealand see my website. I've got I've sold some guitars into New Zealand.
Mick, can you tell Will about the customer that what's his name?
Which one?
New Zealand that you made the guitar.
Geez, you know what?
That bought that wood.
Yeah, that's right.
Can you tell him about the wood? Because Pino, you'll be interested in this too.
Very nice man.
Yeah, have a listen to the story about this piece of wood that tell him about the wood that it was found in the water or.
Well, you know what? I really this is going back a few years too, but basically what it was, I had a customer from New Zealand that flew over to come and see me, and a friend of mine who lives in New Zealand as well gave him some wood to give to me, right? And it was wood that was about 3,000 years old.
3,000 years old.
Dated. It was actually officially dated.
Yep.
The way they test, I'm not quite sure how they tested. And it was wood that they had salvaged. They didn't cut anything down.
Yeah.
They had salvaged out of a dry lake. Right, and they pulled it out.
3,000 years old.
He was privileged to some of that wood, so he cut it up. He thought this would be fantastic for Michael over in Melbourne. So he dressed it, and it was a plank like this, enough to make a neck, and split it and make a body or something. And he gave it to this particular gentleman to bring to me. The gentleman said, yeah, not a problem. But what had happened was that
it's just funny.
When he came over, and, he goes, oh, Michael, it's me, Russ, I've got the wood. Listen, thank you very much. Thank you. Came over one night, and he gives me this wood, and he gave me these two little things like that, 3 planks about this big, like that, like that, like that. I said, oh, thank you very much. They were pretty thick. What had happened was that
The
You
guy
couldn't fit it in the
He
luggage.
said, "Oh, I couldn't put it in my luggage, so I cut it up."
he cut it up. Mix, the guy that gave him the wood, it was one piece, and this poor guy couldn't fit it in his bag, so he just chopped it up. So,
Oh my God!
Now, look, we're laughing. It's a funny story, but this guy Russell,
He would have
he's a
had a
perfect
fit.
gentleman.
Yeah.
He's a great guy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
A lot of respect for the guy.
Absolutely.
He just didn't know, but that's fine. Now that would have.
I mean, he wouldn't have known.
No, he wouldn't have known.
No.
Mick, one of the listeners wants to know if some of that wood was used on the table from the Last Supper.
No, it was about 1,000 years before that.
About 1,000 years before the Last Supper.
talking about old woods. Many years ago.
I have a Woody all the time.
We didn't.
Where did that come from?
I don't know. I didn't hear a thing.
that?
I don't know. I didn't hear a thing.
Wasn't mine, then,
Oh my goodness! Many years ago, I met Mr. Godin. You know the Godin guitars.
Yeah, La Francois.
Now, at the time, he
He's French guy, Will?
Canadian.
Canadian. Sorry. Yes.
At the time, he was releasing the Simon and Patrick guitars.
The acoustics. Yes.
Now, the Simon and Patrick guitars were named after his son.
Oh,
His
Simon
sons,
and Patrick.
Simon and Patrick.
Mhm.
Now, he was telling me that he used to go into his forest, his
His own
forest, and he would look at trees that had fallen, and these trees were like 600-700 years old, and then he would put a GPS beacon on them, like that.
What would that do?
Then he would mark it. The GPS beacon was a marker,
Okay.
and then he'd move on, and he would trek through, just him with a backpack, trek through the forest, find the trees, GPS beacon, and then the guys would come in, the team would come in, a week or 2 weeks later,
and cut it.
and they would pull the trees out without damaging the forest.
Okay.
And that's how he was making his mark on making guitars. And that's on a different level to yours, because I mean, you're making, one-offs. He's making thousands offs, But that was really interesting, hearing that from someone who makes so many guitars. Yeah. So now back on the topic of wood, because rosewood timber at the moment is one of those really touchy topics. I was at a wholesaler about three weeks ago, and they were telling me they were receiving a big shipment. They were receiving 500 guitars, and out of the 500 guitars, there were 47 guitars that had rosewood on them, rosewood fingerboards.
Endangered species now?
It's the endangered species now, and it was all stuffed up because of furniture makers, not musical instrument manufacturers. It's all been screwed over by furniture makers. Well, that's what's been said.
You use it too much?
They were using too much, and it was like they were raping and pillaging the supplies. We want to build more.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this timber's now become endangered. So what happened now is...
we've got a commercial coming. Will, hold your thought right there.
I will.
Because I have to say hi to Johnny, because I love
Johnny Bertolini.
Pino's brother,
That's
Johnny.
Pino's brother.
I absolutely miss doing the weddings with you, Johnny. Johnny's a videographer,
he's awesome.
and he is just the best. And he used to call me Pippo at the weddings, and I really miss that, because a lot of my family call me Pippo. Now, keep going. So these furniture makers stuffed everything
I'm
up.
going to call you Pippo.
Will, so what? So how's that stuffed it up for?
So now, when it comes to manufacturing guitars, if you have rosewood fingerboards on it, there is so much paperwork involved with regards to licensing of it. You need to have a certificate that it was actually grown, where it was harvested from, and there's a whole lot of different paperwork. So years ago, this booklet that I'm holding here was like the manila folder size of what the paperwork was to import 500 guitars with like 47 guitars with rosewood fingerboards.
Mm-hmm.
The girl that was doing the imports showed me the paperwork. It was about that thick. So now from that to, like a good 20 centimeters thick of paperwork.
Yeah.
And she was told that customs wanted to visually inspect the guitars, and they said, we've got 500 guitars in boxes.
How do you do that?
How do you expect us to open them all up to get those,
And at the end of the day, it's man trying to preserve to help, nature. We have to go to a commercial.
We're going to go to commercial. Yep.
GM Sound Studios has been operating since 1983 and is faithfully servicing the music industry. With spacious rehearsal rooms as well as the main auditorium that can be used for live recordings, videos or gig simulated rehearsals. At GM Sound, we offer a fully licensed function room for hire. Whether it's a birthday, anniversary or a private gig, we cater for all your needs and requests. The function room has great surroundings and room for up to 130 people. Bookings are essential. GM Sound has a fully fitted recording studio run by our in-house producer engineer, Chris Gatz, who is establishing himself in the industry as a gifted operator. We also have Joe Yamuni, who has opened a sales service shop called Guitar Works. Located inside GM Sound Studios, Guitar Works will cater for all your repairs. GM Sound has ample off-street parking, coffee and tea making facilities, and a fully functional bar available to all our clients. Check out our Facebook page for up-and-coming events. Overall, it's a great hang with quality staff at hand. For further inquiries, call GM on 9359 6799 and see what the North has to offer. Remember, don't go round and round, get down to GM Sound.
Also, Will, not only for equipment, but if you want to learn how to play an instrument, get down to GM Sound. Will's going to kill me because I'm talking too much.
I'm
hey,
not.
Monkey
Joey,
Fingers.
I love you. We're going to, next week, we're going to have Marcel and Joe Yamuni on.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to play a song that Marcel wrote called Monkey Fingers.
In a minute?
Yeah, in a minute. And it's an absolutely, it's awesome. It's awesome.
And can I just add, it's got one of my favourite drummers on there, Mr. Johnny Salerno.
Johnny.
Son of Sam.
You guys actually did that in tune.
Let's do it again, Will.
You want to do it in harmony? Do you want to do it in harmony?
Yeah.
Okay, that's enough. Now, I heard that one of your endorsees, aside from Joey Amenta, who's sitting right next to you, is one of the guys from LRB.
One of the greatest bass players in the world, I might add.
George McArdle.
And can I, just before we begin, can I just say a quick story about Carlos Santana and George McArdle? True story. Carlos Santana.
I'm putting gaffer tape on you next time I get you in.
No, Will. Carlos Santana was asked to name his dream band, and as bass player, he said George McArdle from Little River Band.
Yeah, I heard that as well. Yeah, I heard that because you told me that before.
Now get on to the story about the bass.
Yeah, so that bass there, because if you look at the George McArdle page on his Facebook page, it's actually got your bass on there. It's like he's highlighting it and really.
He loves it. He loves the bass.
Yeah.
He's had it for 2-3 years now, I think. Yeah, that was a custom bass I made for him. George is left-handed, so everything had to be mirrored. And when you're not used to making anything from a mirror image,
what was that like, Mike? Was that hard?
Well, it was. It wasn't hard. It just you had to you wrap your mind around doing everything on the opposite side.
There it is, there, kids. Yeah. That's George's bass there.
Can you see it?
That's the G. We call that the G bass.
G bass. Yes.
Thank you, Pino.
Pino's going to be Delvine Delaney now. He's going to put it in front of
That's called the G bass that Michael made, left-handed bass.
That is beautiful.
George owns every bass under the sun, and if you look at his Facebook page, you'll hear him say it with his own mouth that is his favourite bass. Thanks, Pete.
He likes it. He loves it.
He loves it. Yeah. And why wouldn't you?
Yeah,
he's a great bass player. He's such a great gentleman too.
Absolute gentleman.
He's a very nice man.
And he likes some of my original songs.
Yes, so he does.
There, William.
Joey, what are we going to do with Joey? Hey, I think. They want to hear about the cab driver dropping the guitar.
This.
Where is it? Oh, that's that guitar there, is it?
This one here, Mick. You have to tell the story.
Okay.
Nice and quick.
Okay, I'll try to be quick. All right.
This one here.
Well, basically, it was actually these two guitars here, this one here and this one here, that I took to the States when I attended a luthiers convention over there in 2011, I think it was. And we just got out. We had a whole lot of trouble getting through on the aeroplane. They wouldn't let us take the guitars on the aeroplane. They wouldn't let us to do this and do that. And we finally got them on and everything like that. And then we got to the States. Got into a taxi. It was one of those taxis with like an elevated trunk, so to speak, like a
maxi cab,
like a maxi cab sort of thing.
Yep.
Right? So we had all our luggage with us and everything like that. And I had 2 guitars. Put our luggage on. So I'm putting the guitars on top, and they're nice and secure. Close the hatch. Off we go to the hotel that we were staying at. We get to the hotel and it's a very steep driveway.
Oh, I already know what's going to happen.
Taxi driver drives up, and I'm thinking I'm going to have to race out of here to get to the guitars before because I know when I open it, those things want to come out. He stops on the top there, and just as he stopped at the top, my daughter was in the back, and she asked me some question. I can't remember. I was distracted for like 3 seconds. The taxi driver had gotten out of the car, started walking around the back, and I just turned around. I opened the door. I quickly ran about. Just as I got there, he'd opened the back, and this guitar here, in a soft carry case, slipped out. It hit right on the back here, straight on, bounced on the concrete, and slid all the way down.
And a testament to Michael's amazing guitar making. All that happened was that little jack plate moved slightly bit. Nothing happened to the guitar. Nothing. It's pretty good.
Yeah. Anyway, but that was that story.
Wow.
Monkey Fingers, Will.
Monkey Fingers. Let's listen to Marcel Yamuni playing his great album. Actually, his album. I hope he brings it next week. Monkey Fingers. Great tune.
Are you tired of having rehearsals with your instrument letting you down? Do you have the guys in the band telling you that you're out of tune and you know it's not you? Does your child need their instrument serviced, ready for school and music lessons? Then come on down to Ready Please Mr. Music, located at GH Music, 100 Mount Alexander Road, Flemington. Specialist musical instrument repairs with 30 years experience for brass and woodwind, guitars and all stringed instruments, drums and hardware. In our custom workshop, we cater from minor adjustments through to breaks and restorations. Why not come in and check us out? For more info, check our website. It's Mr. Musig, that's MrMusig.com. Or drop by Mr. Musig and say hello. We're at GH Music, 100 Mount Alexander Road, Flemington. Music, spelt with a G. Remember, Mr. Musig with a G.
And we're going to have people bring a beautiful work in action at the moment.
Will, look what I found.
So this is you're currently building this for someone at the moment?
Actually, this was part of a series that I did a few years ago, which I have never finished. It's been in my workshop because I'd made a series of these guitars, which Joe owns one at the moment, and this was going to be as my like a display model. And I've left it there, and since then I've been making other guitars. I said, oh, one day I'll get back to it. But if anybody was interested in getting the same sort of style guitar as that, that's what this is, then they might want it in blue or red or green. Or,
yeah.
You know, so I've just left it, and I will finish it one day. Yeah.
But like, if you look at look, I see a lot of guitars being guitar tech, right? And if you look at the cavity where the routing is done for the electronics, it's just spot on. There's no burring or anything. It's just clean. If you look at the timber joins and everything, it's just pristine. The work, the craftsmanship. If you look at the top, the lines, everything about it, even the join on the neck to the body, unbelievable. It's just immaculate. And then the name. So do you have somebody who makes like the name for you, or how do you put the name on there?
Well, you can, but these are cut. I cut these.
You make them yourself, Mark.
Yeah.
So you cut the name as well, all the thing. Because if you look at the name, it's that's what do you call it?
Mother of pearl.
That's Mother of Pearl. But that's all inlaid, and it's like, Joey, I can't take you anywhere. But if you look at the name, it's just the workmanship on it's precise. So you just,
it is.
I mean, you know, and like for one of these guitars, how much would one of these guitars go for?
It depends on what actually how it's finished and what type of finish they want as well.
You see these fret markers, Will?
Yeah,
they're obviously a lot more
expensive than the moons. Yeah.
And this, like for example, this fretboard here is African ebony.
Yeah.
Whereas this is Indian rosewood.
Yeah.
So this is a lot better quality than Indian rosewood.
So this rosewood you brought in before the law came.
Yeah,
he's got a big booklet to show. Can I just say the model name, Will? So talk about the model name for a sec.
Yeah.
Super Pursuit. That comes from my love of Fords. The 1967 XR Australian 1967 Falcon was called the Super Pursuit model, and that's where we got the Super Pursuit name.
Is that the
from.
same one as Mad Max?
No, that's an XB, Will. That's a 1974 or whatever. But yeah, this is like a 1967 XR model. It was called Super Pursuit, and it had a badge on the side guards that was the same shape, sort of close to that sort of shape. So that's where that shape and
the inspiration for the inlays came from that.
My love for cars.
Nice.
That Joe showed me.
My rev, because I'm a rev head,
like
petrol head.
The picture. I feel like I'm on a TV show that was on years ago with a guy called, I can't say his name.
No.
Anyway, the finish that you see on these things,
ukulele.
like the ukulele, for example, the finish on it, it's perfect mirror finish.
Well, could I just play a chord on it?
Yeah, you can. So before you saw a ukulele in its like infancy, which was this. And that's the finished product.
And
so
how pure and mellow and
it's amazing. And the neck as well. So here's the neck.
There's a
amazing
neck Will's holding it. Michael's ukulele. Ooh.
They're so beautiful.
They are. They sound so sweet. Yeah. So sweet. So
that's Tasmanian blackwood body.
Yep.
with a quilt curl maple neck. Yeah, it's a ebony fretboard. So yeah, sweet, very sweet sounding.
It's amazing.
Tasmanian, and this wheel is Tasmanian blackwood as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when he took that to America, he took that to a convention. There was about 900 people at this guitar makers, guitar guild, luthiers convention, and they all stood up and applauded Mick. And they'd never heard of Australian blackwood. A lot of them there. Australian black. What with this accent, Will? What is that? Australian blackwood. Wow, man.
You're a crack up. Now, there's one guitar that you brought in that's got, where is it? It's got Evo fret wire.
Oh, yeah.
Where's that?
Oh, yeah.
Where's that?
That's this one.
Oh, it's that one there.
Can I give you that
Yeah,
one?
give me it back.
Check out this fret wire, viewers. Fret wire, for those who don't know what fret wire is, those.
It's
little...
what the strings hit to play the note. So, but now the Evo, why did you use Evo fret wire on that particular guitar?
Okay, all right.
Have you used it on any other guitars?
One other guitar.
Okay.
Yeah, but the reason why I used Evo fret wire on that, because what it is, first of all, is it's fret wire that looks like it's gold.
Yeah.
So normal frets look
brassy.
Yeah, the nickel finish. Yeah.
I love this guitar.
So basically, the hardness of this particular fret wire
It never wears
is
out.
greater than nickel, so it's a lot harder.
And I can attest to that, Mick, because I've been playing this guitar for 7 years, and it hasn't got a mark on the frets, Will.
Yeah, well, that's what I noticed before. It hasn't got any marks on the frets.
Yeah. Now, the reason why I used that particular fret wire for this guitar is that back then when I made this, this is one of the early guitars that I made. It's probably about number 2 or 3 that I'd made.
It says
actually,
03.
It is 03. It's the
03.
third one I've ever made. So I was experimenting a lot with all different types of fret wire. You know, I wanted to try this fret wire, that fret, what's the difference, and just trying to absorb and learn as much as I could. A lot of this is all self-taught, so you experiment.
Yeah.
You know, you read about it and you experiment. And that was basically the only reason why I used it for this guitar. Apart from the fact that it's matching gold hardware back then. That's about it.
And all these guitars, by the way, are well used. I mean, I've been using this one for 7 years. And you see this, Will? You see the little circle?
Yep.
I made Mick take off the bridge that I didn't like. And I made him put another bridge on it. But I'm naughty. But, you know, they're just...
Well, you've got your own particular way that you...
They are just beautiful. And, you know, Mick's, I always say to anyone that orders a guitar off me, they always take about a year to really wear in, you know. And after, you know,
you got to play it in.
They're like a wild horse, man.
You got to play it in.
They're like a wild Mustang. No pun intended. Boom tish. And after, you know, after they start behaving, Huh. This one here. Last time I tuned it I did a gig with Taste about 7 months ago. It's pretty good. Yeah.
I played that before. It's a beautiful guitar.
Yeah, it's a beautiful guitar.
I'm just going to move away from our interview for a minute. As everyone knows from last week, I really want to bring in new talent and promote new talent. Mm-hmm. So if you know anybody who plays guitar and has got the recording capabilities to record, send it in to us. Any level of playing. Ideally, I want to try to get school kids so we can basically get them to promote their original songs, or even if they're playing a song that's a Satriani tune or something, and they can send it in. Now, I have spoken to quite a few schools, and the schools have actually said to me that they're going to get a lot of the kids to record stuff over the school holidays. So after the school holidays, after Easter, we should have some talent coming in from schools that we can say, okay, here's some kids that are not privy to being my nephew. So now I have a message coming up on our screen saying Parade College is interested, and Mount St. Joseph's Girls School is interested as well.
Awesome.
So that's awesome as well.
That's fantastic.
We're gonna hear a song from a good friend of mine. His name's Paul Tagliano, and he's a great guitarist, and he's got a song that he actually wrote, and it's called Sunday Afternoons. Sunday. Pino, what did you write there for me?
Sunday Afternoons Moose.
Sunday. I think the song is called Sunday Afternoon Music. So
Sunday Afternoons
Muse. It's not Moose. It's Moods. Yeah.
Yes.
So anyway,
Pino's
this is a
funny
song
spelling.
from Paul Italiana. I'll give you some information about a gig that Paul's doing on Wednesday nights, but you can't go to it because you'll be listening to our show. But you could always go and see his show if
they can listen to your show later.
Yeah, they could do that, but they miss out on that live aspect of it.
Yes.
Because we are live. There's a lot of other shows. I've actually found out there's a lot of other shows that are podcasts where they're all pre-recorded, and our show is the only show that is live. Which I find being live is more spontaneous, and anybody who's seen me MC a wedding will know exactly what I'm like when I'm MCing a wedding. I'm very spontaneous. So, but let's get back onto the song, Sunday Afternoon Moods by Paul Italiana, and listen to this beautiful song. It's a Latin sort of tune, and it's great. Here you go.
See that? I didn't even know that. I'd never heard that before. That's pretty clever. Will, I want you to pick me up, baby. I want you to pick me up.
Now, Paul Italiana is actually performing at the Musig restaurant 7 to 10 p.m. on Wednesday nights. It's at 48 Pier Street, Altona. And he's playing with another good friend of mine, Rob Severini, actually, and they do this sort of stuff. It's all Latin gypsy sort of stuff. So beautiful stuff. So now,
pick you up. I will talk about the pickups. Exactly. Yeah. Now you make your own pickups.
That's right. Yep.
So
He does.
now you haven't got the standard pickup winding machine that you would buy from guitar manufacturers, do you?
No.
You've custom made that.
Well, when you say custom made, it's a homemade.
So it's custom made.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And Beepos.
Sorry, guys, I had to laugh at that. I was thinking of Delvin Delaney just then.
So now I know that you've got like the pickups. You've got some pickups that look like P90s, but you don't actually call them P90s. You call them D90s.
That's right.
I know the reason why, but why?
Why? Okay. Well, they're basically a take on Gibson's P90s.
Yep.
But with my own style of
winding.
Delm D90.
Yeah, so the D just stands for Delm. That's all it is.
Yep.
90, so that people can associate that style pickup with that style of sound.
Yep.
Because they're custom.
Miguel, can you tell? I call Mick.
Yeah.
Can you tell Will about your pickup winding machine, please?
Okay, all right.
I call it the flux capacitor. That was flux, by the way.
It does look a bit like a flux capacitor.
That's amazing.
Well, basically, it's a. That's a pretty good size.
Sorry, that was a flux capacitor.
It's an amazing machine, Will.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Well, actually, it's the frame is made out of timber. It's got an old sewing machine motor in there, which I've got out of an old sewing machine, obviously. And it's got a series of like a shaft in there. It's got a little counter that I made that counts the revolutions as it spins. It's got I use an old CD attached to the shaft when it spins, and I've cut away a bit of the paint on the CD, so there's a window in there, so that when it spins, I've got a little diode or an LED that shines a light, and that counts how many times it spins.
And how many? Mick, how many winds would your average pickup have on it?
Well, it depends on the pickup. Like, for example, say the D90, right? That would be depending on how I want it to have a particular sound, whether I want it a little bit more hotter or less. It could be anything up to about 10,500 winds.
That's 10,500 winds of copper as thin as your hair.
Yeah, well, sometimes probably even thinner.
Even thinner than your hair. I walked into Mick's one day, and he had all this, what it looked like a huge bird's nest. And I said, Mick, what's going on? He said, look, one just stuffed up here, so I have to.
Hey, Pino, I haven't copped your bald joke in my head yet. Can you use any of that stuff for my head?
Whack it, glue it on your head.
Actually, Will.
Yes.
I actually kind of fixed the lighting to fix that problem, mate. You're looking well.
Oh, thank you very much.
He looks the best. Yeah, he looks really good tonight.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, because
your head's not shining tonight.
I had my head shining.
Doing all right.
Yeah.
Will's the only one wearing foundation.
Will, is that your secret? Is it?
Hello, ciao to Joe Delvizzini
and Otto Lippelt. I'm still waiting for you to come around for a coffee, pal.
So back onto the pickups. Yeah. So are you selling those pickups as well?
Yeah, sell them. I can sell them. I have sold them separately and fitted into other people's guitars.
Yeah. In fact, a guitar that Joe Yamuni, I think, owns, or Marcel, Mick made some pickups for it. That guy.
Oh, yeah, another guitar maker, yeah. I made a set of pickups for him, yeah. Yeah, and some other private customers or other customers that, they just want to upgrade the guitar a little bit, so, they hear a couple of my guitars and they like that particular sound. So I'll make them a set of pickups for theirs.
So if somebody wants to buy one of your guitars,
Will? Yes.
Yeah, that's what I see. Pino, I was already thinking. I didn't even see that, and I was already thinking that
ahead without seeing.
We're telepathic.
Without seeing the question, how do we contact for orders? Will's already onto it.
So, so to get, what's your number?
Okay.
Or your website.
Well, yeah, there's my website.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is simply Delm Guitars.
DELM.
Yeah. Is that .com.au?
.com.
Yep. Okay. Straight out .com.
Also, I've got a Facebook page, simply Delm Guitars on Facebook.
Yep.
And also my email. There's my email and contact through. I'm not sure if you want me to say it.
Yeah, go.
Yeah, okay. Well, it's basically DeLuca18.
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 Yeah. At optusnet.com.au.
Yep.
But I think probably the easiest thing would be is probably either just a
website.
On website, there's a way of emailing me there. There's my contact numbers on there as well.
Yep.
And also my Facebook page as well.
Yep.
So that's probably the easiest. These days, a lot of people got computers.
Oh, I just put your email on Facebook, mate, and they can see it.
Thank you. On your
Pino, you're so efficient.
You're a
Pino,
champion.
I have to admit,
a true champion.
Thank you, Pino, for being so efficient tonight.
A true champion, Pino.
Yeah, he's wonderful.
He's speaking about computers. A friend of mine today, he said, I'm having trouble with my computer. I said, what's going on? He goes, switch off. It does this, it does that. I said, I have a solution for you. Go to the PowerPoint on the wall and switch it off. How's that, huh? Pretty good, huh? I thought that was pretty... Willie, I thought that was pretty bloody clever. I told you, man,
I'm calling you Pepino from now on. So next week we have Joe and Marcel.
Awesome.
Yamuni.
The Yamunis.
And Joey Amenta won't be here.
I won't be here.
No. But we will get you back.
I hope so.
Do you want to come back?
Oh, I love coming here. Are you serious? The best pizza ever and the best company ever. I love Pino. And Will, you're all right.
Yeah, I see how I came second.
Did you say Joe's not here next week?
Yeah.
Pino. I thought you were going to put on people crying. Oh.
Pino, have you got a song queued up for the outro of the show? Because I mean, you haven't been writing anything on that beautiful board that you prepared for us. That beautiful computer, don't you write? We got some Brett Garcett.
Avoid the void.
Avoid the
void.
The void.
Avoid.
Avoid the void.
The void.
And no, we're going to keep going.
Yeah.
We're going to keep going.
Sorry, you just confused me a little bit because you said, "Have you got a song for the outro?"
Yeah, no, I'm just queuing you up for the end. So
see. You know how Will thinks ahead, Pino?
Yeah,
That's what he's doing.
Thinking ahead.
Ahead.
But yeah.
We'll go to this song with Brett Garcett.
We'll play the song. Yeah.
And then we'll come back.
Okay.
Can you pull the thing down as well so I can read the top? That was Brett Garcett. He's actually, I'm going to have him on the show too later on.
Very cool.
In the next coming weeks and months.
What's that? Is he quiet, sort of reserved chap like myself? Or is he one of those
actually,
sort of
actually, guys, that was another favourite drummer of mine, Jerry Pentazzi's on that.
Yeah.
I actually, I got some
you
news.
guys forget to mention the drummers. At least there's a drummer here to stick up for him.
I've got some news for you guys, right? I did a gig on the weekend, and it was an awesome gig. And later this year, I have coming on Pino, Jerry. I have Jerry Pentazzi's coming on, and he's a drummer on the Guitar Talk show.
Woo!
But hold on a minute. I also have Phil Tercio, who's going to come on because he's got a project that we're going to talk about. And also Jeremy Allsop. So, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Bass player royalty.
Yeah. So I had a gig on the weekend with those guys, and I have to admit, man, it's just like mind blowing listening to those guys play. Mind blowing. Just boggles the mind. Anyway.
Sorry, I just got to interrupt. Rory just asked if I'm feeling well after Monday night's incident. Yes, I'm feeling very well, thank you.
Thanks, Rory.
Yeah,
Much
Rory.
appreciated.
Rory, we actually rocked up and he had this big thing around his neck.
And you know what?
And he's walking around. I go, what are you trying to do? An insurance claim?
Nah, that's called a wife.
And what's the third thing I did when we roll up? Poor Pino's got whiplash.
Yeah,
and the first thing I do, I get him in a headlock. Oh, my timing, man. My timing is
what a crack up. Oh, funny.
Very bad.
Anyway, time to promote the Muso channel once again. So once you finish listening to us, get onto the Muso channel, MUSO, and in channel, and like and follow. So you need to do that because we've got to build the numbers up on that so that we can actually start hosting the shows, all the shows from that Facebook page.
Muso channel.
So up and coming on the Muso channel will be On the Mic starting on the 17th of April, and it's hosted by Vocal Art Studios on 8 p.m. Tuesdays.
Tuesdays at 8 p.m., yeah.
Yep. On Monday nights, and you can tell that Pino's done this because it's all back to front. On Monday nights, we have Drum Talk Radio, hosted by Pino Bertolini, and that's at 8 o'clock on Monday nights. And we also have another show called Can Do Radio, hosted by Andrew Hewitt.
Andrew Hewitt
at 7 p.m. on Wednesdays. And now that's the show before my show, or our show, shall we say. I like to say our because, I mean, okay, cool, I host this thing, right? But for me, it's not about me. It's not about me. It's about you. You know what I mean? So
and Pino was going to say, Will, that actually what were you going to say? About Andrew Hewitt.
It's actually a podcast. He actually runs that from Sydney, actually, and he sends us the podcast across, and we run it for him.
Oh, that's cool.
That's great.
Yeah,
it's great. And we also have starting on the 29th of April, Jam Night at Musicland.
It's a Sunday night.
Yeah, Sunday night. 29th of April.
Hey, speaking of Musicland, when are you playing at Musicland again, Joey?
After tomorrow, Friday night.
Friday night with
the Georgie Trimmer Band.
Band.
The George Trimmer Band. We're going to rock and roll Friday night. I'm looking forward to it.
And what time do you guys start?
We start at the really early hour of around 10 o'clock.
And do you have a support act?
Yes.
And who is the support act?
I don't know.
Oh, is that the name of the band? I don't
know. Groove. I do. Man, I'm so proud of myself.
I thought your support act was spandex.
No, the yeah. Hang on, I'll just after that, right? No, the support act is Groove Nation, and they're really good. Actually, really good band. Groove Nation. They are.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, they're great.
Okay, that's good. Now Rory's saying something.
Rory,
Will
Rory is the sound technician.
Actually, Rory, you did a Facebook friendship thing, and thanks for doing that, man.
Rory's the sound guy at Musicland.
I saw that. I looked at his page on Facebook, and
Rory Hollingsworth.
Awesome pictures. So, and did he do the mix when I came down to check you out that time?
No, he hadn't. He wasn't working there.
He wasn't there.
No.
Okay.
But the mix is much better these days. But Rory asked a really interesting question.
Where does
he source
his timber from?
Yeah, Michael.
Michael. Yeah, where do you source your timber from?
Yeah, actually from a number of places.
Don't give away your trade secrets.
No, I don't mind saying that.
He's a good boy, Mickey.
There's a couple of places in Melbourne where they import exotic timbers from overseas, and that's where I get things like maple and mahogany.
Yep.
And overseas from Canada and the northern part of the USA, I get the other timbers like, for example, spruce or curly maple, quilt maple, and all the other timbers that I might use for fretboards and things like that, which they source from overseas as well.
Yep.
So the wood basically comes from Canada, USA, or could come from Africa.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's
L'Africa, my father used to say. I don't know why they put an L in front of it. L'Africa.
Yeah, there is also. I have used some Australian timbers, which I'm trying to get into a little bit more now.
Yep.
And I have a contact with somebody that actually mills their own timber straight out of plantation forests or forests that they're allowed to cut. So, and it's only small quantities. So, yeah, but it's there's also a source there as well.
Oh, you were quickly going to talk about the pine guitar.
Oh, yes. We have to talk about the pine guitar.
Yes.
Before, when we were having the pizza, we were having this discussion about sound on guitars, especially electric guitars. And I mean, we both actually agree on this, that it's not necessarily the timbre that makes the sound of the electric guitar. It mostly is generated from the electrics. Now, we know that this is a very topical subject because some people are going to swear black and blue that it's all in the timbres and not the electronics. But on that topic, Mick, you've actually proved it all wrong, haven't you?
Well, look, I've done some testing, and to my mind and the way I hear tone, to me, I've come to my own conclusions. And the way I did it was I made a prototype guitar in that shape, that particular shape.
Out of some old floorboards, Mick, is that right?
Well, what it was the top of the guitar was made from a piece of pine that I got from Bunnings Hardware probably 15, 16 years ago, that I had in my garage where I used to put my feet on when I used to work in there. And it'd be covered in grease or oil or, whatever fell on it and just left there, wanted to make a prototype guitar, so I used that as the top wood, right? The body of the wood and the neck of the guitar, I got from salvaging Meranti out of a window and laminated it all together, glued it all together, and made the body and the neck out of it. The only good bit of timber that I used was the ebony for the fretboard.
See, that's where all the tone is.
And I made this guitar, and I made my own pickups in there, and I don't know if you remember that, Joe, back in the early days there. I had a whole series of switches on there.
I love that guitar.
Yeah.
I love it.
And what I was able to do was put a set of pickups that I'd worked on, and I'd be out when customers come over, they'd play the guitar, and I'd flick the switches and either, change the tone of the pickups and the way it sounded. And that way I could determine what they liked as the type of tone they wanted. But cut a long story short, I'm making it long, I know, but
which is what we did with this, anyway,
yeah, that's right, yes. Yeah. Basically what it was that the thing was made out of a bit of rotten pine and Meranti out of a window.
And Will, it sounds fantastic.
It's one of the best sounding guitars that I've got there. So wood does play a very minor role, but it does have something to do with it. But it's not like what people think. For acoustics, totally the opposite.
Total different story.
Which we didn't touch on. Just
Wes, we have to talk about the acoustic.
Michael makes, as he makes the beautiful ukulele, he makes a beautiful acoustic.
Yeah. Thanks, Joe. Yeah.
So with the show tonight, how do you feel now? Do you feel nervous?
Still a little bit.
Come on!
Yeah, but I've got to say,
a whole bunch of mates having a chat.
But that's how you're making it sound. I appreciate that.
Michael, don't feel nervous.
I mean, listen, how can you not have a fun night with this guy?
It's always a fun night.
Definitely.
Yeah. Michael, don't.
Anyway, the Muso channel is looking for sponsors and advertisers. So if you have a business, you can claim the expense of the advertising with the ATO, of course.
Advertising with the ATO.
And if you want to sponsor the show, feel free to contact Pino. Pino, have you got an email address that you can post on the page that people can contact for that? Now with advertising, if you do want to get some advertising done, there's advertising packages that are absolutely awesome, and we're quite flexible with a whole range of things for you. If you wanted the ad done, we can do that, as Pino's got a full-blown studio here, as well as all of us have studios.
They could also contact us. Oh, geez, I got foot and mouth disease. Contact us on the Drum Talk or the messages on Facebook. They could just send me a message, not a problem.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you guys happy with today?
I'm happy.
I'm happy.
Yeah.
I got enough juicy information out of you, mate.
Yeah. Well done, Mickey.
I had a great time.
So thank you, Michael DeLuca from Delm Guitars for coming out,
Mickey.
and thank you, Joey Amenta.
Thanks, Willie. Thanks, Ben.
The rock legend.
Thanks, Will.
From yesteryear.
From rock.
Who's still currently a rock
from
legend.
The rock world.
From the rock world.
And thank you to Pino.
And thank you to Pino Bertolini for doing what you're doing over there.
I am
You're
a
welcome.
rock. I am and a rock feels no pain.
Okay. Joey, thanks for that. We've got a song called Sing Close Your Eyes. And thanks, everybody.
I was referring to Close Your Eyes.
Is that what you meant?
Close your
right,
eyes.
but it gives us everything in this code. I've still got to learn it. You got to shake your head a little bit more, Joe. So, everybody, thanks for listening in. We've had a great night entertaining you. See you all. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Good night.
You're listening to Guitar Talk with Will Music.